Welcome back to inside the Gateway Arena here at the Tyson Event Center. Pioneer Sideline on the road, day 3 now, as we're getting set for our match between Point Park University and Corban, rather. See behind us, Hastings and Tennessee Wesleyan getting set to play. Just now, our matchup about 7 hours away, and guys, going to be tough for the Pioneers. An opponent that you haven't seen before, and always tough going into something blind like that.
Yeah, the Pioneers are seeing a team, Aaron, that they have not seen ever before. Corban University out of Oregon, and I think the Pioneers are ready to go. Had a closed practice this morning, trying to get into the feel of things, trying to get everything going.
Very important. We were just talking earlier today among the girls that the 2 games that we lost versus Damon and Walsh, that was where we came down. We went down a 10-0 run, and when we don't get up in the beginning of the games and don't come out on top, then that's when we lose focus and we don't win it out.
I think that, we're just going to try to maintain the philosophy we've had all year in defending the best as we can. They do have some size, but, we do have Jocelyn, manning the middle of whether we play zone or man, and she's very long and athletic. And the key for us, I think, is, depending on how they call the game, is to apply some pressure on the ball and, make sure that, we stay out of foul trouble. And I think if we do that, defensively we'll be fine.
I think that they are very, very prepared. They've had, a few days to settle in, and they've seen film. We've went over, their plays, all that game preparation. They're ready.
Talked yesterday about the X's and O's of this matchup. You better be ready for a defensive battle here today. Pioneers, one of the top defenses in the country, Matt, and we can't expect anything different today.
Yeah, I think the Pioneers are going to be probably one of the best defensive teams here other than Indiana Wesleyan. We saw them play earlier in this tournament. And, the Point Park Pioneers, their defense, that's what they build off, and that's what makes them a top 25 team. But really, I think what the Pioneers have to do is play their defense. They have to go out there and get in the face of the Corban Warriors. And once they get in the face of the Warriors, they're going to cause some problems for Corban, because once you get in the face of them, we saw their championship game against the College of Idaho, and they really weren't defending that well, and that opened up shots for Corban. So I think once the Pioneers get in their face, it's really going to cause some problems for the Corban Warriors.
And you have to look at the fact, Matt, that Corban ranked number 10 in the nation, but what does that really mean where we are right now in this tournament? When you talk about the fact that yesterday we reported on Damon was here last night with a 65-60 loss to a Morningside team ranked number 5 in the country. Damon was the runner-up in the AMC, only lost that game by 5 points, Aaron. So I don't think the Pioneers look at this number 10 seed or the number 10 overall ranking in the country. I don't think it means all that much to them.
So we got the matchup with how they're going to look up. We already had a number 3 seed go down just a little bit earlier before, as Ava Marie went down just about 20 minutes ago or so.
Yeah.
So it's possible. We talked about this last night, that anything can happen in a tournament like this. And you mentioned defense, guys. Point Park only giving up 51 points per game. This team in Corban scores 68. I mean, big matchup problem for Point Park, going up with a high-scoring offense. Also, Point Park 4th in the nation in shooting defense, holding teams to 33%. Corban shoots just about 45%, and how is that going to help, or how is that going to be the matchup trouble? Point Park trying to stop some of these shooters, and they got some big players.
It's going to be the battle we see in every sport all the time. It's going to be a good offense versus a good defense. Sometimes we see a good defense win out. Most times you see a good defense win out. We'll see if the Pioneers can do that. I expect them to come out in their zone, their high-pressure tempo on the defensive side, maybe even look for that full-court press when Savitsky comes out on the floor. Very good in the full-court press. Make Corban play a game that they don't want to play. And, Matt, I think that has to be the key, because you don't know this team all that well. You have to put them out of their comfort zone.
Exactly, Kevin. You bring up good points there. This Corban team is a very good shooting team as well. They shoot 43% overall as a team, and on the inside, they have Van Wordhuizen, they have Bennett and Steigelman, who average 48% and 49% and 48% respectively from inside the paint. So this Corban team could definitely shoot on the inside. So you're going to have to get Johnson and Pierkin in there, really get the hands in their faces out there. We saw on the AMC championship game, Johnson and Pierkin was outside on the perimeter guarding Courtney Donovan. So they're really going to have to rotate Johnson and Pierkin around, get her long arms in the face of the Corban Warriors. And you saw that the Point Park Pioneers, they have Katie Steigelman on the other side for Corban, and she is their all-time leading scorer in school history there. She has 1,950 points for the Corban Warriors. So she is a very good scorer for Corban, so they're going to have to watch out on the offensive side there, Kevin.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Pioneers are allowed to get away with defensively in this matchup, because in the AMC, it's a big conference as far as size goes, and a lot of banging down low, a lot of physical play. We look at tape from the West Coast, a lot more tic-tac fouls, and then here it's been almost a grab bag. What are you going to get foul-wise? So it's going to be interesting to see when you get those girls on the outside, trying to play physical, make Corban beat you from the outside. And Aaron, it comes down to how this game gets called, whether the Pioneers can play as aggressively as they'd like to.
We discussed that before at the hotel. This refereeing, the way the games have been called so far and what we've seen in the couple of games that we've watched, could really play into the Pioneers' hands with how aggressive that they have been throughout the season defensively. And guys, we're trying to get out of the way here of this game as it goes on, but let's get some predictions. Pioneers, Corban tonight, 7 o'clock. How do you see this one going out, Kevin?
Now, I look at this game and I look at the way the rest of this tournament, and we're watching Tennessee Wesleyan and Hastings play right now. A lot of outside shooting going on in this tournament. The Pioneers have those players that can do that when you look at Austin, Savitsky, Shartner, all these players from the outside. But again, it's going to be one from the defensive end of the floor. Keep Corban out of their comfort zone. I think the Pioneers have a good shot here in a 6 versus 3 matchup. I'm looking at a lower scoring game. We saw the Pioneers beat Damon in a low scoring game in the AMC title game. That was the last time they were out on the floor. I'm looking at about a 50-45 final.
Yeah, definitely, there, Kevin. Look at the Point Park Pioneers. They're a very defensive ball squad out there. And, this team really has to focus on their defense. And, Katrisa Savitsky, she's that up-and-down player for the Point Park Pioneers, and she can really light it up on the defense and on the offense. And when she comes off that bench, she says the extra spark the Point Park Pioneers need out there. And I really see big things from Savitsky out in this game. And we already saw a 6 seed take down the 3 seed today. So, nothing's impossible in this tournament. I really see April Austin, Emily Shartner, and Savitsky really having big games today, as the inside presence of Johnson Peterkin might be taken out of there by the Corban defense. So we'll have to see what that happens today. But for a final score, I see 54-48 in favor of your Point Park Pioneers. Going to be a really defensive game, and I think it's going to be a really tight one going down to the wire.
Yeah, this game, don't forget, brought to you live on the MSA Sports Network, 670 AM WPPJ. Aaron and I will have the calls. So there you go. You got our predictions. Aaron, let's get yours.
I like a 6-3 upset. Point Park, 55-51. I'm going that way.
Close game.
So we'll see. Check in after the game. We will have highlights, analysis, everything for you, just like we do on the Pioneer sideline. So look out for that right after the broadcast. 8 p.m. Eastern time for everybody back at home in Pittsburgh, 7 p.m. here. That's the pregame show at 7:40. We'll talk to you then.